I love. I hope you can hear the music. I'm going to play it for a couple of seconds before we get into it. Got some things to talk about. About go. In London, Morocco, and Puerto Rico, Mississippi, Cincinnati, and my home DC, they're all doing the same thing. The dance they call the chicken wing. There's something about that spicy stuff. So funky, so hot, knock you off your block. Boy, I'm about to knock you off your block tonight. I said I was going to do this every day between now and the eclipse, the solar eclipse. Yesterday I didn't. I have been doing it every day, but yesterday it got tough on my hind part. But I have a lot of things I want to talk about. The solar eclipse, the more I dig into it and I hear things that other people are saying, the more I am expanding my over inner outer standing of the potential. Whew. It's a grand scale of things that's going on. So, I talked about previously on other episodes, I would talk about like shuttle launches, rocket launches, or whatever, space flights. And I looked it up and I didn't get a chance to say anything yesterday, but I had found, and they're talking about it a little bit, that there are three rockets that will be shot up into the solar eclipse path of totality. So the name of those rockets is Apophis, 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 and it's a Coptic word. It's an ancient Egyptian deity, or also has a ancient Greek deity. But it says was the ancient Egyptian deity who embodied darkness and disorder, and was thus the opponent of light and Ma'at, which is order and truth. So they're shooting these rockets. Three of them, one 45 minutes before, one during the path of totality, and the third one 45 minutes after the one that's shot during the middle. So they're going to, okay, so they say it's for measurements, they say it's for taking assessment of things, but that title, the name of that rocket, is also, like I said, it is an ancient name of a dragon. This is also the year of the dragon, right? And so there's also a story of folklore that Apophis is killed every day by the sun god Ra at dawn. So, you know, uh, apparently Ra has been successful. Hey, Cadence, is that how you say it? Hey, Cadences. Apparently, hi, they are not telling us all of the, because there have been states that are already declaring a state of emergency or martial law, right? So, and I know that there'll be certain locations amongst, through that path of totality that will be flooded with people coming from the sides. I mean, it'll be seen all throughout the United States, but people coming from the sides and say, nope, it's cadence. Okay, not with the S on the end. Okay. What do you think about the comment that they said is on the 8th during the total eclipse? Right, devil's comet, right? That's also going to be seen when the darkness comes, when the path of totality comes, while the sky is dark, we'll be able to see these three different planets will be very visible, And because of the darkness, while it's dark, but then that devil's comet will also be seen only because it's dark. We will really have a real good visual view of it. So yes, the skies, they're like fireworks that's going on at this time that this eclipse comes about. This is an eclipse season. So the lunar eclipse was the 25th, and so now the solar eclipse, which is on the new moon in Aries, is about to happen. Aries is supposedly the kickoff to the astrological new year, or the mother nature, the natural new year per se, because it's when the earth, mother earth, blossoms and blooms. She puts on a show for us, starting with, and I guess that's why DC has these, what do you call those blooms that we have? Oh my gosh, I just saw them, and they're so beautiful. Jiminy Cricket. It's the flower that they put up. What is that flower? Do you guys know what that flower is that China, or is it Japan? One of the Asian countries gave to DC. Cherry blossom. There it is. Cherry. Oh, and you said it too, Tierra Jones. I got it just as you said it. I don't know if I got it from you saying it, putting it up there, or me saying it, but yeah. So the cherry blossoms, when they bloom, that's really the new year, and that period that it's really, yeah, it's when the earth is popping out all over the place, and like, it's just starting to wake up, from the frozen state that it was in while we were hibernating per se. We're so coated up, we can cover up and get warm if we want to be outside, but it's the time when the natural nature hibernates at that time, when the earth freezes. Even the frogs that get frozen in the ice actually are frozen in position, and then when the ice thaws, they're able to move and so on. But so I wanted to talk about, just how much we're missing because of our sacred sensitivities not being tuned into, for the most part. This energy, the tuning into our energy centers, our sacral centers, our vortexes. So we're going to be bombarded. Like right now, we're going through a lot of geothermal showers. Flares have been happening, and we've been feeling it just before this time. And the skies are just starting to put on like I said, a fireworks show for us to line up with what's going on. I think the big picture is because they're, how can I say, distracting us with all this glitzy glamour Hollywood stuff going on, right? Distracting us from getting our attention, getting our focus, taking our energy away from some of these astronomical, astrological, highly explosive potential energy shifts. And so it is a season that's happening this year at this time, but then it's also happening in September. Another eclipse season is happening in September. So what we're going to do, to what I decided to do, what I think I would like to suggest that folks could do, is to gather them. Well, first off, to do a vision board. What does your life look like after this? Because it may shift, but at least if you have your intentions in mind, you'll be able to hold that energy, and it will be magnified, amplified, edified, glorified, ignited. The ignition is available for that time. And like I said, on my last episode of Heart Happy Hour, One Love and Wellness, Love+Art equals wellness, precious mother love, how y'all doing? But the my thoughts are that there's so much that we're leaving out, that I want to try to include it and put it in there, because I believe our sacred organs, like the tonsils, like the appendix, like our wisdom teeth, like our sacred fluids, we're leaving that out of the equation. People are removing those things, and they are connected to the operation of our pineal gland. And the activation of the pineal gland comes from when you are able to use your wisdom teeth. So it seems to me like we're tuning out some things that we need to use to tune into things like this kind of episode. So if you got your wisdom teeth, you've got your appendix, and you got your tonsils, then you're already ahead of the game in a lot of ways. A lot of folks have those removed. It was a campaign to remove your wisdom teeth. Hidden in plain sight, the name, the word, that is just, to me, like, why would we want and willingly remove something that says wisdom? I mean, they're actually telling us things in plain sight, like they're telling us about these rockets that they're sending up. It hasn't been like a huge story, or maybe in the scientific community, but in our community, my community, for the most part, everybody's talking about the comedian, and all of the repercussions that's come behind, some, I my opinion, things are being blown out of major, people are admit that they are, homo, or homosexual, or bisexual, or whatever, all the time. So just because it's his turn to now turn on the light, they pull some other things out the closet. But I think that's to just get us distracted from the big picture. The Big Bang Theory is, I mean, this is not a big bang per se, but it is a big bang. It is a big deal, a big energetic shift. We are actually, if you have all those organs that I just said, and well, okay, let me come back to that and talk about the sacred fluids. So if your semen is sacred, which is something that we excrement. I know they talked about the golden goose on Soulful Sunday. We started this conversation, so they talked about the goose that lays golden eggs. You know, they study our feces to find out. They study all of our excrements. They study. We toss away it. Their blood cell, their cells. There are lots of DNA in these excrements. There's that's how they tell if you're well, or they can tell the condition of your body just by your excrement. That's why the dogs sniff each other's hind parts. But in addition to, like, your saliva, a lot of times, if I hurt myself, I'll lick it. I didn't even know it's got healing properties to it. It's really supposed to be 99% water or whatever. And then it's got some kind of, let me see, what does it say? What's in saliva? It says saliva is an extracellular fluid produced and secreted by the salivary glands in the mouth. In humans, saliva is around 99% water plus electrolytes, mucus, white blood cells, and it has it. I don't know how to say this word. Epilethio, epilethal, epilethal, epilethal cells, enzymes, and antimicrobial agents. Right. So it's got healing properties, and anti antimicrobial. So all of our, I want to say, the sacred fluids that we emit. I mean, they have information in them. They have DNA that's in it. They have properties of, like, we're just throwing it away. Like I said, the women's menstrual cycle, which is tied to the moons, every moon, every moon day, Monday. But our cycles are 28 days. Our menstrual cycles are. So we're tied to the moon in that case. The lunar and the lunatics. I'm trying not to stumble over my words because I'm so excited to say some of these things. My brain is going faster than my mouth is going. So I apologize. So yes, hit the like button and hit the subscribe and share this bad boy. Oh, thank you, blessed divinely. But yes, every month the females stow away placenta potential blood. This blood has energy, DNA, has remnants of sacred information, sacred energy. It's the same way you treat your placenta. every month, just the same way, and I'm going to switch just a little bit, but every month we have a Christmas. The Christos comes down from the pineal gland and comes down the Kundalini through our sacred chakras, and then does its loop. With when you're humming and purring and roaring, the Merkaba, the sacred connection that we have when we are aligned and our vortexes are aligned, then we're able to bring in the light and be able to, oh my God, hum, purr, roar, radiate, illuminate, magnify, amplify, all the things that you are engaging or initiating at that time, which is why I like the gateway meditation. Just kicked off my knowledge of that, but that's just a starting point. That's just something that got me used to what is the gateway, what is the gateway like, what can I do with the gateway, how can I make more use of my knowledge and apply more of my knowledge of me doing 10 years of full moon events, me doing the healing things that I'm learning, these hacks that I'm learning about our sacred organs. Like, they're taking out our tonsils, our appendix, and our wisdom teeth. These are all things that engage our pineal gland. These are things that not only engage it, that's why it becomes calcified, but the wisdom teeth actually grinding. When you grind your teeth in your sleep, that's you activating your pineal gland. We miss so much of the point by being outside of ourselves versus exploring the universe of within. The kingdom of heaven is within. So we need to engage more of that's not the knowledge of self, and get to cracking on some of these codes, decoding some of the things that we have been, it's in plain sight, it's hidden in plain sight, but we just aren't, the eyes have not been yet able to recognize the sacred value that your attention on those things would give, and be able to engage within yourself. OMG. So there's some shifts that are coming energetically, and I just started shaking and trembling. So I'm thinking that I'm supposed to be taught that I'm excited to talk about this, but something else I'm supposed to be getting to. So I wanted to talk about the larynx, the voice, the vortex of the larynx. It is in a position where it is a sacred position as well, which is where your tonsils are. So let's just say that if we are looking at this shift as a forward movement in the right direction for ourselves, this time of light and dark battling, this is happening on a grand scale with us shooting rockets at the sun, at the solar eclipse. Not we, not me, but us, as in NASA, as in our, not our government, but the folks that can are, so, but literally we can use our rockets, we can use our own innate natural abilities and sense and tune and focus and intend. Like, there was one lady who had said, why what had been told was to take, I think it's a certain type of water, but of course you could take any water, and she had spoken about burying it, putting some cinnamon in it. And I would also say, you could do something else, whether it's putting stones in the water. I was thinking even any of your sacred excrements, the golden shower, the dung, whatever, and energize it and use it in other ways, meaning during, if you want to do something ritualistic, you maybe even do a ritual at the time, perhaps even tears, sweat. All of those things are sacred in magic. It's energetic, the tears. So why wouldn't earwax be? Why wouldn't snot be? Spit is. Um, Why wouldn't, is sweat? Sweat is, I believe, as well. All of those have an energy, um, a certain amount of energy. It has some living properties to it. There's things that's living in it, on the level of, parasites and things that we have that we might excrete during, because that's the process. The skin, all of the things that we excrete, that's getting rid of, sloughing off the toxins, the things that we no longer need from what we've ingested. That's what breathing is. Breathing is that is you take the chi out of the air, you get the energy you need out of the air, and then what the body doesn't need, it continues that cycle and recycles, and so on. So the breath is sacred. And we capture it in balloons, right? All of these things that come from our body, I see all of them as sacred in some ways that we can use in different ways towards our betterment, our improvement, our sacred knowledge of ourselves, tapping into our sacred energies. That, and there may be other people that talk about this and may know about it a lot more than me, because I will say this is fresh manna. This is from this morning and yesterday, because I did have a list of things that I wanted to talk about yesterday, which I basically have covered those things. So on to today. Today's topics were related to the solar eclipse, and the fact that there is a grand stage that things are happening. I mean, states of emergency in various states. A state of emergency has been declared by various governors. I believe Texas is one, Ohio is another, and there are others that are declaring it as a time where they really they foresee it being an energetic shift. They foresee that we'll be paying more attention to it, and the more the attention starts to gather, I believe the more we're going to be impacted, because the more eyes and ears are focused on it, the more we're going to be amping it up, right? So the more we might as well just have fun with it. I say fun, be serious, do some, don't F around with its potential. Don't underestimate yourself or the potential of it. And I'll say why I don't underestimate yourself, because this morning I was in a state of tizzy about some financial stuff. I did the gateway and I got a couple of $100 in just like that. Like about an hour, I got a text that said, basically, set it up so you can come and get these funds. And so I'm saying, I didn't underestimate myself, but I did to some degree. I had some, I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't care. I say it works. It's gonna work. And it worked. So that's all I'm saying is that don't doubt yourself. Put in the work to find out what works for you. Are you a tangible person? Do you learn more by hearing or seeing or touching, or how do you receive? Well, just set it up so that you will be doing things that are enhancing the way you receive things, that you'll have, so if sound is one of the ways that you receive things, then play a certain frequency, play something that puts you in that high frequency that you want to be in, or whatever the frequency of love, of happiness, of joy, of laughter, something, whatever it is, good. So I say this, science of self is very important now more than ever, because what resonates with you, what is it that's important to you, is coming, is being called to court now. Aries is the first astrological sign of the zodiac wheel. So Aries is saying, we about to set it and forget it. We about to put the vision board, all the check off the list, so that you have, you know 12 categories is what I usually put into position, where, I mean, I even have leisure and travel in there. I have entrepreneurship is one of mine. So I have 12 categories. And I think that on the 8th, I think I will show you what my vision board looks like. And if anybody wants to join me, let me know in the comments below, and I will do a Zoom or a StreamYard, so that we can do them together and we can talk about the symbols and the signs and the symptoms, because I go in on my vision board. I usually offer classes in January. I'm going to start offering them more around this time of the year. And this year is, I'm not even going to charge for it. If you want to join me, let me know, and I'll send you the list of the things that I would include, that I would ask that you be prepared with, so that we can sit and chit and chat and brainstorm and put in some work to fine tune our vision and put the big picture into position for us as it plays out on the grand stage, on the grand scale. So one love and wellness, precious mother love, love plus art equals wellness. Let me go back and see if there's anything that I missed that I might want to ask about. Oh, there's a lot more going on than I thought. Hey, one love, everybody. Ashe, Ashe. You chat what Chat, what you doing? What state are you in? Oh, I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm in the District of Columbia. And thank you for that cherry blossom note, Tiara. And so, John Doe, did you know there is a black hole behind the sun? I heard. I heard. So, you know, what do you know about that? Can you share? That would be great, John Doe. It says, how do I prepare for this energy shift? And that was what I talked about. It's going to be basically uniquely your style. If you have stones, put your stones out just the same way that you would for a full moon, and have them to be able to bathe in that eclipse period time and whatever. And it's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just the same way you feel retrogrades coming up, you'll feel this. I'm feeling shifts from the lunar eclipse, and I'm feeling shifts from what I feel might be related to what's coming as the solar eclipse, because the whole sky knows that this is happening. We just not paying as much attention to. They see each other. These stellar, solar, celestial beings. They know what's going on. They're tuned into each other. Their energy influences each other. And when certain things happen, like this is why. Well, NASA says they're sending up these rockets for information gathering. Yes, it may be information gathering, but I also think it's distracting of that. It's going to be influencing. It's influential. It'll be influential on the before. They're going 45 minutes before, during, and after. You think that's not going to affect us, or affect the effect, or affect the interaction of these celestial bodies? You know, it's almost like waving a nanny boo boo sort of flag up to it by naming it Apophis, by putting it into position, as in, like it's a stage play, right? So it's like, and the part of the passerby is being played by Apophis, the dragon from the Egyptian myth of Ra, and battling him every morning and killing him. Like, that is definitely something that is grand scale stuff. And so when they're implementing these states of emergency, that should tell us something. That should be like a red flag to us. Like I said, we waving a nanny boo boo in the soul, in the sun, maybe the sun god's face, sun god Ra. Maybe who knows what. It may not be immediate. It may not be as impactful at the moment of influence, as far as the interaction. The ripple effect, as it ripples out, it might affect some things. And I don't, maybe the satellites, and if they're affected, then we will be affected. And of course, Mother Earth is being affected. She's feeling these things. That's why I said something about burying these things in the ground, so that you can capture some of what Mother Earth is sensing, feeling, and tuning into. And I'd say, you want to go at least 6 to 8 inches if you can. Bury it as deep as you can. I don't know, what I would suggest you do with it. I just say that, keep it for a rainy day. It may be an antidote. It may be something that you find out later has some real estate value. You know, it may, if you maybe even put some dirt in the like a time capsule sort of thing, and you know, make it glass or whatever. But anything that you want to protect from it, I'd say, you know, keep put it, encase it in steel. That helps Superman, right, with his kryptonite. So yeah, so I think I'm done for the evening. I did want to speak a little bit about the wisdom teeth, in that it activates our pineal gland. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. If you do still have your wisdom teeth, that is something that you can begin to recognize. That, you know, if you grit your teeth at night, if you grind your teeth at night, or if you find yourself grinding your teeth in the, you know, because some people just, that's a normal habit that they have. That might be when you're trying to, you know, engage in something that where you need some wisdom, where you're um, engaging in some wisdom. So the last thing I'll say about the wisdom teeth is that when it does sense something, for me, when my wisdom teeth sense that what I've eaten has bad energy in it or is unclean, then I get hives right along the bone area where the wisdom tooth is. That whole area bumps up with hives, like I'm allergic to something, like it immediately spit it out. You know, it's almost like I have a gag, not a full on gag, but I recognize as soon as I feel them bumping up, like it's unclean. It's the spirit, the energy in it. I didn't know that before, but I now know that's what is triggering. And so if that happens to you, then you need to not only look at what you're eating, or, you know, maybe even what you're thinking while you're eating, because your energy maybe also be, you know, alarming as well. So anyway, one love and wellness, love plus art equals wellness. Thank you, you guys. You know, I was gonna say, be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, happy belated Ishtar. You know, fertility goddess. You know, like I said, there's a stage, a grand stage play that's going on. You know, with Easter just passing, with the lunar eclipse, with this forthcoming solar eclipse, with, you know, all these Greek and Egyptian, you know, stories being played out. I just think that we need to pay more attention than we are to these social stories. We need to pay more attention to this energy shift. This shift is going to be very beneficial to those who pay attention to it and can apply the things that you've learned about yourself energetically, science of self. And I'm not saying it's not going to help those who aren't aware of it and who aren't tuning into it. You just may be, you know, an alchemist on your own and just know how to transform energies into what's needed. And you know, I'm not saying that this is something that will only help those who think about it, but it'll help us more to put in the work to think about and be conscious of and be intentional on purpose. You know, what you want, the mission of this energy boost, this shot in the arm, this open house in the heavens. One love and wellness, Ashe. Love plus art equals wellness. Heart happy hour. Thanks for hanging there in there with me. Peace and oneness. Ashe.